get in touch or how to do it, or might be still in shock of all of it happening. And it took 7 years for this to pass. So, 15, but 7 where it's been very, very thoroughly examined. And so justice is to be served, and no amount of money can really fix that. It has to be real justice for the people who were hurt. So.
Any questions?
Should Congress amend this bill to not violate sovereign immunity? This is for John.
Okay. Should Congress amend this bill to not violate sovereign immunity?
Yes, I believe that Congress should amend this bill specifically to not violate sovereign immunity, but secondarily to set up another mode of compensation for the 9/11 victims. I think that there is a different way than going straight for suing Saudi Arabia and violating Saudi sovereign immunity. I think there's other avenues.
Thank you.
This is for panelist number 3. How do you feel about Congress putting the blame on Obama for not explaining the bill thoroughly?
Okay, so how do you feel about Congress putting the blame on Obama for not explaining the bill thoroughly?
If you think about it, I mean, after they passed the bill, it was only 1 day until they actually blamed Obama for not explaining everything, even though he used his right to use the veto, but they overridden his veto just to basically keep their place in the elections. That's what I think. And yeah, the bill should just be easy to read, I guess, and they should have just read it, and it's not a hard topic to understand. And I think just putting the blame on Obama is just not going to save them from taking this mistake on themselves.
Thank you, Jasta. Any more questions?
Yes, this question is for Francesca. Is there a point at which national security becomes more important than the concept of proper justice being served for the innocent lives involved?
So, the question was, is there a point at which national security becomes more important than the concept of proper justice being served for the innocent lives involved?
I believe no, because people make a nation, so making sure that people are secure and that people are happy really secures the nation, and they're less of a threat if it's being shown that obviously this is not something that we are going to tolerate as a country, and we are going to put our foot down for what's justice. And according to the passjasta.org website, it sends a warning. So it would be very, very good. And 2/3 of the majority voted on it, of our House and representatives. And then it took 7 years of reviewing and fixing it to make it what it is today. So this wasn't just a thrown together thing that was, it's been very, very thought out. And and so that's why I'm for Jasta law. And that's why I believe that the people should be put first, because the victims end up going through more of a trial than the evils that cause the pain. So.
Thank you, Francesca.
Does the upcoming congressional election have an effect on Congress members' support for this bill?
And John, does the upcoming congressional election have an effect on Congress members' support for the bill?
I think so. I believe that many members of Congress, as Yasser said, didn't even read the bill. It was just put through because they knew everyone else was going to vote for it, and their elections are coming up here in November. So I believe that I don't think much will change after the election, even if a lot of spots switch up. But I think pursuing a different mode of solving this problem, perhaps an amendment to the bill that would not violate sovereign immunity, would be the way to go.
Thank you, John.
How will the bill affect the relationship between Saudi Arabia and the United States?
And it's for Yasser. How will the bill affect the relationship between Saudi Arabia and the United States?
As I said before, Saudi Arabia's government and the U.S. had a great relationship for more than 8 decades, and they actually been fighting terrorism together, and they've been like helping each other with all the problems economically, I think, and like war-wise and just decisions-wise, and just building businesses between each other. And with the Jasta law, if people from the U.S. started suing Saudi Arabia, I think Saudi Arabia is gonna sell all their assets here in the U.S., which is gonna be $750 billion. And I think that's gonna affect the U.S. economy like really bad. And hopefully that does not happen, but that's about it. I mean, they're just gonna lose a great ally.
Thank you, Yasser. That's pretty much, that pretty much sums up the questions and answers. I'd like to thank the audience